Hello, students. I have already started the chapter North America, and we have discussed already. I have just named the four physical divisions of the United States, of North America. I was discussing about the cordilleras. Cordilleras means ropes in Spanish language. So we will discuss today from the remaining part of the cordilleras. The cordilleras act as a barrier to the moisture-laden wind from the Pacific Ocean and cause relief rainfall. The cordilleras also acts as the watershed. Now let me tell you what is an watershed. It is an area of land that drains all the streams and rainfall to a common outlet, such as the outflow of a reservoir. So it is an area of land that drains all the streams and rainfall to a common outlet, such as the outflow of a reservoir. Outflow of a reservoir. With the watershed, with many rivers originating from its snow-covered peaks and flowing eastwards towards the Atlantic Ocean or westwards towards the Pacific Ocean. Now, from east to west, the main mountain ranges, that is the western cordilleras, include the eastern chain, the central chain and the Pacific coast. Now we will discuss one by one about the eastern chain. Now the eastern chain is the broadest chain of the cordilleras and with high peaks and glaciers. Like if you remember that in the Himalayas, we have the three parallel ranges, the Himadri, the Himachal and the Shivalik. Similarly, this is the broadest chain. The eastern chain is the broadest chain of the cordilleras, and with high peaks and glaciers, the Rocky Mountains forms the main part of this chain. The Rockies stretch for over 4,800 kilometers from British Columbia in Canada to the southwestern tip of the USA. Now please remember that its highest peak is Mount Elbert. The highest peak is Mount Elbert, which is 4,401 meter. Glaciers and snowfields cover the higher reaches of the mountain. The Rockies form the continental divide, which separates the rivers that flow into the Pacific Ocean from those draining into the Atlantic and the Arctic Ocean. So it is a divide, that is why it is known as a continental divide. Continental divide because it separates the rivers from flowing that flows into the Pacific Ocean, flows into the Pacific Ocean and those draining into the Atlantic and the Arctic Ocean. Next, another part we have that the central chain. This chain includes the Cascade Range in the north and the Sierra Nevada in California. It makes up, as the name suggests, the middle part of the western cordillera. That is why it is known as the central chain. It is known as the western cordilleras. The Pacific Coast Range. The another is the Pacific Coast Range, and this chain runs along the Pacific coast from Alaska to California. It includes, please remember these things which are written in the bold letters, it includes the Alaskan Range, Coast Mountain, California Coast Ranges, Peninsular Ranges and the Sierra Madre in Mexico. The Central Valley of California lies between the California Coast Ranges and the Sierra Nevada. Please remember, Denali is in the Alaska range is the highest peak in North America with a height of 6,190 meter. So Denali in the Alaska range is the highest peak in North America with a height of 6,190 meter. Now in between the parallel ranges of the western cordilleras are large intermountain plateaus. Now you must be knowing that what are intermountain plateaus. Plateaus in between mountains. Plateaus in between mountains are known as the intermountain plateaus. They are the examples of the Columbia Plateau, the Colorado Plateau and the Mexican Plateau. So these three plateaus are known as the intermountain because they are surrounded by the mountains, and in between there are the plateaus. The plateaus receive very little rain as the lofty ranges in the west block the rain-bearing winds from the Pacific Ocean. So the rain-bearing wind which comes from the Pacific Ocean is blocked by the lofty ranges. So this plateau region remains dry. The rivers flowing through this region receive water from the melting snow of the Rockies. Many of the rivers here flow through canyons. The most famous of these is the Grand Canyon, formed by the Colorado River. As it flows through the Colorado Plateau, the Columbia Plateau is drained by the Snake River. East of the Sierra Nevada and south of the Snake River lies the Great Basin. Now, basin is an area where the waters are drained. It's a vast arid area of inland drainage. In its center lies the Great Salt Lake. The region is famous for its basin and range topography, which consists of a series of parallel mountain ranges interspersed with lowlands. Next, another physical feature, we have the central lowland. The central lowland stretches from around the Arctic shores and the Hudson Bay in the north to the Gulf of Mexico in the south. These vast and fertile plains are hemmed in by the western Cordilleras. That means it is surrounded by the western Cordilleras in the west and the eastern highlands in the east. The eastern part of the central lowland is drained by Mississippi and one of its tributaries Ohio. So one of the important rivers of North America is the Mississippi and its tributary is Ohio. In the west, the central lowlands are known as the high plains because of the greater altitude. So that is why they are known as the high plains. Now the high plains are drained by the Missouri, Platte and other tributaries of the Mississippi River. The central lowlands are made fertile by layers of sediment brought down by the glaciers and rivers. The central lowlands are made fertile by the layers of sediment brought down by the See, when the glaciers moves, so beneath the glacier, all the rocks that are, it is been broken by the huge pressure of the glaciers. Now these rocks are then converted into soil. So the central lowlands are made fertile by the layers of the sediments brought down by the glaciers and the rivers, and as you know, from the rivers bring along with it the alluvial soil, which is very, very fertile. After the First World War, wheat was cultivated here, but a series of drought led the farmers to give up cultivation. So prior to that, this place was fully full of agriculture, but a lot of cultivation was done. But because of the First World War, wheat was cultivated. But a series of drought led the farmers to give up cultivation. The topsoil, which was no longer protected by the vegetation, was carried away. So this is one of the main cause for the soil erosion. If the land is devoid of vegetation, then the topsoil becomes loose and it is been carried away by the wind. Slowly, a large area covering the states of Nebraska and the eastern Colorado turned into a desolate human man-made desert called the Dust Bowl. So why it was converted to a dust bowl? Because this area had to face several year drought, and because of this drought, the topsoil was devoid of vegetation and the wind was carried away, so it remained a dust bowl. The situation, however, has improved today with the government enforcing soil conservation method like planting trees, and some more other measures have been taken by the government. Planting trees and grass to anchor the soil. So once again, to make the soil more stiff and tight, the government has taken some more measures. And it has also started the practice of contour plowing. What is contour plowing? Plowing along the boundaries of the mountain. Boundaries of the mountain, that means it will go round by round. It is known as the contour, so that in the hills, when the water will come down at a huge force, it will not lead to the soil erosion. The Canadian Shield is a plateau made up of hard old volcanic rocks similar to those of the Deccan Plateau. As we have in the southern part of India, the Deccan Plateau, which is a volcanic, because some 70 million years ago, volcanic eruption took place in the Deccan Plateau, and as a result of the solidification, it solidified when the molten lava came out. Then gradually it solidified, and then it became a plateau. So during the ice ages, the area was covered with thick continental ice sheets. As the ice sheets moved, the surface got scrapped and worn down, leading to the formation of the pine plain. Pine plain means almost a plain, because the ice sheets moved away. In the ice age, there was covered with the ice sheets. But as the ice sheet moved away, it leading to the formation of the pine plain. Pine plain means is almost a plain. In addition to this leveling action, the huge boulders dragged along by the moving ice scooped out hollows in the ground. So what happened actually, the big stones which were beneath the glaciers, when now you will do one experiment, if you stand in a very loose place, the soil is soft, and beneath your shoe if you keep some stones, and if you keep on rubbing, you will see that it is making grooves. In the same way, when these boulders dragged along the moving ice, so the below above was the ice, the big boulders of ice, and below was the stone. So because of the pressure and the weight of these mountains, the glaciers, there was huge grooves made. Later when the ice age ended, these hollows were filled with water and which formed lake. Today the Canadian Shield is a pine plain which is just like a plain, and with a number of lakes that are large enough to be called as seas. The Lakes Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie and Ontario are together called the Great Lakes. The other major lakes of the Canadian Shield are Winnipeg, Great Bear and Athabasca. The famous Niagara Falls lies between the Lake Erie and Ontario. The Canadian Shield is rich in mineral deposit, because you know that any plateau region, plateaus are the storehouse of the mineral resources. Similarly, the Canadian Shield is also a storehouse of different mineral deposit. So dear students, today I will do up to this. From next day I will start I will try to complete the remaining portion, that is we will start with the Eastern Highlands. Till then, all of you take care and go through the video and read your book thoroughly. Thank you.